Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Dave, and as usual, I'm joined by a bunch of nerds. We're gonna play some Fifth Edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo!
I am going to turn it over to our illustrious dungeon master, Nerdarchist Ted.
How is everyone doing this fine and lovely evening? It is session 11 of Dungeons and Delving. We have a 12 session story arc, so we are closing in on the end of this before I pass the torch on to one of these illustrious players here for them to take up the torch and play their game. But we've still got tonight and next week to do before we get to that point in time. So without further ado, you can dive down to the description below, find all the links to where you might find these lovely people when they're not here on Nerdarchy. And I'm gonna roll a d4 to see who I'm passing it to, and that's gonna be Robin. So why don't you
Oh,
introduce yourself, who you're playing, and what you remember from our session 2 weeks ago?
hi. I write weird fiction. My Amazon link is in the description below. I will be playing Nebula, who is a somewhat ousted pop idol that had basically a one-hit wonder some time ago and is trying to reclaim some of her former glory. Okay, so week before last, were we in the dungeon or were we talking to people outside? Okay, we were in
We're
the
the battle
dungeon.
royale.
That's right, we were doing the battle royale. Okay, I remember that I did a dance off with Seraphina and she beat me, but that's fine. I'm not entirely bothered by it. Tabitha.
Yes, we were in battle royale, and it was fast and furious. Tabitha was pretty proud of herself that she held her own and took out the first opponent, Kyoko, the Tabaxi from Team Flump, who were the top tier team. And I think they just came right at us, all up in our grill in our little half bubble dome, where we stayed the whole time. And the shining unicorns came to like ally with us. It was pretty awesome. We helped each other out, and then we had a dance off, and I believe they won, but everybody was pretty proud of it, happy with the way things turned out. And I'll pass it off to Enzo.
It's because the peasants come to the queen, bitches. And that's why they came to us. Oh, I don't remember much. I just remember I got to kill Chef Bob. Fuck Chef Bob. Octothorpe. I am playing Enzo, the wannabe chef that is playing Dungeons and Delving to earn fame, glory, fabulous prizes so he can start his own restaurant. Also, human battle bastard. I will pass it off to Burke because you'll probably remember everything.
I don't remember everything. However, what I do remember is that, I should probably start by saying, hi, I'm Steven. I play Burke. He's a Dwelf Ranger. Dwelf is a Nerdarchy race, BT dubs. It's pretty cool. So y'all should check it out. But anyway, so we had a battle royale going on and it was so much fun. We ended up kind of getting immediately targeted by the people that were really close to us in the rankings. And so the other teams that we've kind of been allies with and friends with during this time came to our aid. And Bert got downed real quick because they were terrifying. There was an Earth Genasi with a giant sword, and that is the bane of my existence right there. Not to mention the Dwarf Rogue, all the poison. That was a mess. The spider folk, I can't remember their name. All I can think of is Sirkas from Just Quest. So Zosrab, that's what it was. Zosrab was like chilling up on the ceiling, just watching the world burn, and then kind of like coming down to snipe in a victory. Except then everybody ended up like tag teaming her. It's she, her, I think. Not sure.
Zosrab is a her, yes.
Yes. So everybody just like tag team, like beat the ever living mess out of her at the end. And then it was a dance off at the end between Seraphina and our own lovely Nebula. It was weirdly mirroring and maybe foreshadowed by when Tabitha did a dance off against Nebula and also owned her.
Oh,
so
yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was really interesting. It was very close. I think it was like one off. Like I think she only beat you by one. So it was like super close. But
basically a draw. It was basically a draw.
Yeah. Now we are trying to solve a mystery. It's actually a murder mystery because somebody did, in fact, get murdered, even though they got brought back to life, but whatever.
It got better.
And we are definitely suspecting Crag, who is the bunny kobold, not the dude who has Crag in his name that was the kobold that died. And that's what I remember.
Whew.
I mean, unless the robots weren't lying to us.
So the thing that you guys kind of missed out on was all of the suspicion in the very beginning when your normal doorway that you would leave from your own dormitory or your own room into the common area called the locker room had been moved or had disappeared essentially. And there was another doorway and a note saying that, you know, you would be collected at a certain time frame, because all of the previous 4 runs that you had done had been an entry through the typical exit of the locker room where everyone had the ability to commingle and talk before their individual runs. This was the first time that you were all competing at the exact same time, and they wanted that to be a mystery, be a fun little surprise for you all. So as you went down the hallway to enter into your run, you entered into the elevator and it opened up into a hexagonal room where there were these like 3/4 domed areas, one for each of you, one for each of the 6 teams, I should say. And one by one, the teams decided to act how they were going to act. The Black Razor's Revenge fell first. The Displacer Beasts were technically, marked as out next. Why can't I read my own handwriting? Who is that? The Flumps. Yeah, it's just an F. The Flumps were out third. Gibbering Mouthers out second. You guys, out third. You guys were listed as out second because Burke fell and Shining Unicorn wound up taking the lead. So as we get into the locker room, everyone licking their wounds, everyone still alive and fine. The points begin to appear on the scoreboard. Currently in 6th place, scoring 72 points for round 5 for a total of 406 points, Black Razor's Revenge. In 5th place, scoring 78 points for a total of 412 is the Gibbering Mouthers. In 4th place, scoring 71 points for a total of 421, the Displacer Beasts. In 3rd place, scoring 73 points for the round, totaling 444, is the Flumps. 2nd place, scoring 87 points for the round, having a total of 445, Shining Unicorn. And scoring 84 points for the round, totaling 451, Sensational Chimera.
Woo!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the current scoreboard for this round of Dungeons and Delving. You have 1 race to go. You have basically a day and a half left to do with as you will, whether you wish to chase down any leads, recall events that might have happened within your run earlier this day, or just laze about and wait for your run. It is entirely up to you. So, Sensational Chimera, what do you wish to do?
I want to see if I can get a hold of some Roth steak that I can then marinate in with some cave lichen for the day and prepare a big meal.
That can absolutely be done. That you've got a way of putting in any kind of food requests, and as essentially you guys are celebrities and are pretty well catered to. The fact that you and a little bit of Chef Bob have been doing a lot of cooking, you've saved them quite a bit of labor, so they're happy to spend that on better food so that you guys can cook it and have better meals.
I mean, it's unfortunate that half of the stuff is burnt, but
Oh, because he's doing
Because
it.
he's saying that Jorgen Flamefellow or Chef Bob
Oh, yes.
is bad. All right, so what are the rest of you doing?
Well, after just flush with our amazing victory, especially in seeing these points, and we're in number one, Tabitha discovered she just stayed up all night, didn't even feel tired today, and spent that extra time.
Well, it is like an hour after the run.
Oh,
so you've got.
Oh, really? Then Tabitha would probably try to see about getting an agent and getting endorsement deals, because she's famous now. You just hearing I'm just imagining somebody referred to them as celebrities, as you did as the DM there. And
I mean,
our celebrities.
before the last run, we did reveal to you who killed you.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a bonobo roll. I don't care. Unlife is totally different.
Unlife is so good. Unlife is so good to me right now.
It's so much. Whatever my other life was, this Unlife is crushing it. I'm a celebrity. I'm a number one. I don't age or need to sleep or anything.
I know we got to figure out how to make the tournament end right
awesome
now.
Frame. What's that?
We need to figure out how to make the tournament end right now.
Just go out on the high note. All right,
you guys are winning. you are ahead by a mere 6 points, and third place is only 7 points away.
Sure.
It is.
Oh yeah, I'm not resting in the laurels, but I'm capitalizing.
I mean, the difference between second place and sixth place is 45 points.
Yeah.
So
that's still.
Oh man.
So Dungeon Master, what is the world like outside of Dungeons and Delving? Is it Shadowrun? I believe it's more like modern day, right? Or futuristic.
It is a modern world. In such a place where magic and monsters and things exist. But it is definitely better than a Shadowrun. I would say, if you were to take Eberron and progress it where technology could kind of evolve, I think that would probably be the closest corollary.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I can dig that.
Okay.
It's
like the future of that kind of world.
Yeah.
Are there any real dungeons left?
There are places where the wild element of it really fought back too hard against civilization, and they just stopped encroaching upon it and have left wilds to be wilds.
Guys, when we get done here, I bet we could do this for real.
You'll think?
We could take the guardrails off, lose the training wheels, get rid of the bumpers. We could go out there and we could really delve some dungeons.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
No!
I didn't think hitting the space key would do that.
Oh my God!
Are we
Tragedy strikes Dungeons and Delving?
Yeah. All right, Robin. So what happens next?
Robin has jumped into the DMC.
As so often happens with me, my characters in these games, this seems better than that life that beckons out there. Why would you want to put yourself in danger like that, Enzo? Imagine how much money your restaurant could rake in with a celebrity like you are now already, even if we don't win.
Yep. You guys just role play, do your thing,
sure.
And I will move it around.
But I was role playing with Enzo.
Oh, well, you're not anymore.
I'm just messing with you.
Enzo is trying to put people back in their proper pens.
Well, I would probably be sizing up my teammates, and maybe with Nebula as well, just looking up and down at Burke, and I don't know, he could probably
Well, how about I ask this question? Are you guys in the locker room or are you in your dormitory?
Let's see.
I say locker room. Like we're walking from. Oh no, we just got done the delve. So like I'm like, yo, what are those guys? What do we call them? Bills? Yo,
Yes.
Bill, we're gonna need
Yeah.
some raw steak and some cave lichen. You know, the red kind, not the green kind. Blue kind maybe, but definitely the red kind. But anyway, we're pretty good at this. We could do it for real.
So like I am sitting at a table surrounded by like hover screens. Like I've got Freddie and David both like there with a couple of screens popped out each and then like one stationed in between them, and I'm like typing something and like moving things around. And I'm like, I have been giving some serious thought as to where I'm going from here, and I don't know if that's the direction I'm headed. Actually, I was thinking about tech development.
Really?
No.
That sounds kind of lame.
How does that sound kind of lame?
I mean, we kill monsters, right? That could literally be your next single.
Oh, yes. I absolutely want to go become a butcher instead of what I'm doing.
You could become
We're already doing it.
A wizard tube vlogger.
I like wave a hand and like all of the screens dissipate for a second. I really enjoy this. And since we've gotten here, I've been composing. I've got a couple other songs that have got actually pretty much ready to be written and recorded, like as soon as we go. And I'm still gonna do that because I still love the music and that's important. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's like when I hit a problem, my first impulse is to reach for my phone, not sing at it. And I'm not sure how many computers we're gonna find in actual dungeons.
Well, I don't know that the spells you use, they came in really handy. You're pretty good with that. And, I feel really inspired with you, there at our back.
I mean, if the Dungeoneer is to be trusted, like there's definitely computers in dungeons some places. Like that's just a thing. And if we
You
could
just
go
spam
into
them?
the wilds and explore places that nobody else can go, imagine if you developed technology that would deal with the problems people would encounter so that they could go these places.
So market the programs to people like us who are going into the dungeons.
No, market the things to people who want to use the technology to go places that aren't explored as of right now.
Like extreme
Like
Yeah.
the bottom
exploration.
of the ocean.
Exactly. I mean,
That's
where do you think
terrifying. Why
people
would you
were?
even bring that up?
Bottom of the ocean's pretty beautiful. All the different sea life and such.
Have you seen some of the deep sea life that exists?
I'm not a fan of the
Not that
bottom
I
of the
can
ocean.
recall.
It's really hard to throw knives underwater.
Anyway, now I'm just imagining dungeons like escape rooms.
Didn't we talk about that? That sounds familiar.
I mean,
I don't know.
I
It's just a
think that-
thought. Or we can just go our own ways and never see each other again. That's fine too.
Oh,
Put
no.
my hand on your shoulder and say, any place, anytime, anywhere that you need me, I'll be there.
Like, look how big Tabitha's sword is. We can't just hang that up.
Kidding.
It's
risking
huge.
life and limb is definitely a way to bring people closer together. And when you consider that we also have been, there for each other, like honestly, before I was here, I mean, I have a ton of brothers and sisters, but I didn't really have a life. My life was in the comic books. That's why I wanted to do this, to try to save the farm. Like, it's something that would be a new experience. And I didn't expect that one of the better new experiences would be meeting random strangers and becoming friends through fighting through dungeons and interacting with more strangers.
You guys.
Well, why don't we just enter next year? I mean, we can help a lot of people by entertaining them and also make a lot of gold.
Yes.
And then
Don't you
we're
kind of
not
want to
playing
like
Partridge.
do it for real?
I thought I did. Maybe the old me would have. But this new me is really liking this fame and fortune. And we still get to fight stuff.
It's true.
I mean, I'm not. This sword isn't going to good use. Actually, as we're walking and talking, if I see Raziel, I'll be like, "Did you see that riposte I did that you taught me?" And I like mimic the move.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there's a lot to think about. And right now, we're all just sort of in this weird headspace, I think, because we've been interacting with programs that may be lying to us or maybe giving us actual information. And you combine that with the risk of actual death. Like, I don't know. I think maybe there's a lot more immediate problems we need to worry about first.
Yeah, I might just be coming off of a high from getting to kill Chef Bob finally too.
I'm coming down from a low,
See,
having
you got
been
to get
killed.
out that angst, and nobody had to.
I've been wanting to stab that guy for a long time.
I mean, just think about it. If he entered next year, you guys could come back and stab each other to death every year. It'd be
I
real
don't think they
special.
always do the battle royal though. And then I look at Burke.
This was a completely new thing. The battle royale has not happened on any of the previous seasons.
Yeah, this was a new thing. That being said, it was kind of fun.
Yeah,
It was
I'm sure
probably
it'll
as
crush it in
close
the
to the real
ratings.
thing as we've gotten so far. I don't know. Maybe something more my speed would be like, I don't know. I've heard about this cooking show where they go into outer space and go to other planets and they like find food and stuff. Like that sounds very much my speed.
That sounds totally ridiculous, Burke. I don't know who would even think of such a thing.
I don't know. Any place is a good place to cook.
Any place is a good place to eat too, if I'm being honest.
Huzzah!
That's
Here
one
to
thing
any
I'm gonna-
place.
You know, I'm wondering, Nebula,
Yes.
you've been keeping a lot of information with Freddie and David. Have you gotten any clues as to who might really be behind all this?
And I will pull all the screens back up again and start like going through the files, like the stuff that I pulled off of what's his face's email and like all of the recordings that I've made and like, you know, just the things that I said I'm keeping this on file and then never went back and looked at again.
Sure.
Have you seen his string board?
Yes, Enzo is doing it low tech, and Nebula is doing high tech.
It's a race.
We're both going to come to the
got
same conclusion, and it's going to be Hefty dressed as Mr. Peanut.
I mean, you know, Hefty really being behind the whole thing would be the best plot twist of all.
He does have the bunny ears that y'all are suspicious of.
He does.
Maybe he's being mind controlled.
There are
Or
antennas to
maybe-
his brain.
Maybe there's some sort of surveillance.
That's like,
here.
oh yeah, good idea.
Can I remove the bunny ears and give them to Nebula to look at more closely?
Sure.
All right, I'll just like pet Hefty on the head a little bit, and then like kind of as I'm doing it, remove the bunny ears and then hand them off to her.
Sure.
Cool. I will make a tech roll possibly and see
Yeah,
what I can find out.
Absolutely.
27.
Yeah, nothing seems out of the ordinary. There does not appear to be any illicit tech involved. Nothing that seems out of sorts beyond what you've already been able to figure out that they do.
Now these things are clean as far as I can figure.
At this point, I don't even remember what they do.
What?
I don't know if
Oh,
they've
the
been doing
bunny ears.
anything for us on Hefty.
Do they do something?
They did do something. I'm trying to remember. I think they let him.
Or no, he just wanted us to wear him because he was our sponsor and it was like promotional, I think, right?
I
That sounds
don't
about right to
remember.
me.
Yeah, I don't have anything here. So then,
Yeah, I think it was just like he was like, hey, if I'm gonna do this,
Oh, wait, it's his
Why
armor.
don't you
His
do me a
armor is
favor?
what he
Yeah.
has that does stuff for him.
yeah, that kind of.
it's nothing more than just a set of decorative bunny ears with the Terrible Ideas logo on it.
And they mutate to
Terrible
match
ideas.
the
So what are you guys thinking? Who do you think is behind all this?
I don't know, but if they're going to do something, they're going to have to make a move now if their goal is to win. But who knows? Maybe that's not the actual goal.
Look, I don't know why Craig would do something like this. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Like maybe that's not what's happening. But I can't think of anybody else that would have the ability to do that and go completely undetected by the game makers.
Well, some of it was done magically through arcane techniques. I don't know, does Craig have those capabilities at all?
That's a good point. Okay, so we are looking for somebody that is magically versed and technologically versed, and I don't know anyone other than me who could have pulled that off that is here and competing. I'm gonna start background checking everyone is what I'm gonna do.
All right. So again, I will say you guys are currently in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where probably majority of your opponents are there. Is this a whispered conversation?
I don't think so at this point.
Chimera table, or are you just kind of blatantly out and out talking?
I'm standing there Riker style, and I was just like,
we all agreed no more secrets.
Can I pay attention to who's paying attention to us?
So I mean, as you guys are making, I wouldn't say necessarily a scene, but you're being loud enough to bring in. So I would say a good third to half of your fellow competitors are kind of listening into this conversation.
Would it make a difference if we were mostly sitting and lounging around where those pinball machines are and I'm playing one?
She is a pinball warlock.
Oh, wow. I like that. That's good, Burke.
You said that you're kind of, whether you're at the table or whether you're at the pinball machine, having this conversation. When Nebula says, this takes, tech and magic, I can't imagine anyone other than me. Serafina walks over. So, is this an admission of guilt?
Absolutely not. Why would I still be looking into it if I'd done this?
She clearly has a smug look on her face, she was clearly in jest.
It would be the perfect cover.
Not not actually believing it.
Oh. I don't realize that at first. It takes me a second because I'm still looking at all the pieces in front of me and then I glance up and actually turn a little bit pink and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just focused.
Well, honestly, we need to have our heads put together if we are to try and solve this before the final dungeon, before whatever is to transpire in this next run. We have to, look at everything. And if we are to believe whatever these anomalous program says, which I don't know how accurate it is, but if it is, it's a team. So would it necessarily be a single individual?
Wow.
The program said it's an individual and not a team.
Did it?
Yeah, when we were questioning it.
No.
It just said they've been here before.
Yeah.
That seems really obvious in retrospect.
It said that they've been here before and they had pointed towards a team.
Yeah, we were looking at Displacer Beasts and
the Displacer Beasts or the Flumps.
The Flumps is
so I'm gonna go ahead and search all the members of each of those teams and see which ones of them have a tech background.
All right. So give me an investigation check. See what you might be able to find.
Do we still have our spell slots? and stuff.
This is same day. So anything you would have
Okay.
used in the dungeon is gone.
22.
Never mind. Maybe I don't need to do anything. I was going to give you advantage, but never mind.
All right, and so which one are you looking up currently? Are you looking up flumps? Or are you looking up Displacer Beast?
Displacer Beast.
All right. So with a 22, and if you're looking for a tech background, you've got the goblin, the spider folk, the dwarf, and the satyr. The goblin has like the barest amount of programming knowledge, but it was like something from a decade ago. The as definitely seems to be involved in far more shady dealings, although there's a couple of spots where like you're not able to find anything that he did in like chunks. So like for 3 months it was basically off the grid, and then a year goes by, and then 6 months he's off the grid. So he is definitely anomalous in that regards.
Okay. Do I need to make another roll for the other team?
So if you're going to make a roll for the flumps, yes, make another investigation check.
Okay. What were you going to do to give me advantage? Because I might need it this time. I got a lucky roll this time around.
Are you like literally? Is Nebula asking for people's help if they can?
Yes.
I will toss my talisman over my shoulder and be like, "Here, rub this and think real hard about it."
So is that the help action?
No, that's if you fail, you get to roll a d4 and add it to your roll, possibly making a 6.
Yeah, a D4 is not going to help. Okay, it might. Hold on, let's see.
I mean, I don't know what the DC is, but it works for me.
Well,
15.
Burke, what were you thinking about doing? Burke, what were you thinking about doing to aid Nebula?
I was gonna do Fox's Cunning, I think is what it's called.
Do you have the spell slot available for it?
I do have one more second level spell slot.
I
was doing all the third level stuff, and I just burned through my last third level, and I had 1 second level burn when all that happened where I died. So
look, you getting knocked out early helped right
yeah.
now.
Hey, it actually helped for something.
So
There's your
So
what does that
enhance
do?
ability Fox's Cunning, I guess.
All right, so that would give you advantage on your intelligence.
Okay. That's 30-20.
All right. So when you begin looking under the flumps, Kyoko, the tabaxi, when you begin investigating at first, they seem like just Joe normal. There does not seem anything out of the ordinary in any way, shape, or form. But it looks so plain, so blasé, that you decide to dig deeper, and you realize that there is essentially like a false layer, like a secret identity kind of thing put in, so that the truth of what Kyoko has done in the past was not able to be uncovered. You just barely got it with the 20. But Kyoko definitely has some serious background in tech.
Well then. And I'm going to show you guys.
What you found?
Oh.
Mhm.
That's very suspicious.
Weren't they a
Do
monk
they
or
have a good
something?
magic user?
I don't know. They went down like a sack of potatoes.
No, the monk was on the Displacer Beasts.
Oh yeah,
I thought For some reason, I guess I thought the Tabaxi was fighting with natural weapons.
I don't know what they were
Right.
fighting with.
They went down too fast.
The Tabaxi was using a short sword.
Oh yeah.
There was a dwarf who
Yeah, he was nasty, Racky.
who had a blackened short sword and a poisoned toe blade.
Yeah.
I remember that very vividly. I remember that. My hit points remember it too.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's slippery. That was cool.
I've got an idea. What if, since I really need to sleep, what if I go do some homework tonight? And you guys can do whatever you're going to do the rest of the night, but I got to sleep because I'm not feeling great. Like there's just like this trickle of blood coming down.
Go.
You would have been healed there, Bert.
Okay.
I mean, you have to remember, out of the 24 competitors that went in, 17 of them were knocked unconscious, and everybody is up and moving around. So
okay,
people are stiff, people are sore, but everyone is at full hit points.
Was it the Displacer Beasts? Were they the one that took on? They got the magical barrage.
From
the Gibbering Mouthers?
The Displacer Beasts and Black Razor's Revenge all took area effect damage from the Gibbering Mouthers.
Yeah,
the Black
it was their
Razors
time to
just like
shine.
walked out in the middle and just that was their first move, and they just got annihilated.
Black Razor's Revenge saw where the flumps were and began moving in a straight direction towards them.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. They just didn't make it.
And they did not do well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was brutal.
It is what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Gibbering Mouthers went from, dead last, and they got to move up a bit.
Okay.
I'm already trying to scheme of thinking of places that'll make a licensed Tabitha Rasa pinball wizard machine.
Pinball Warlock.
Oh, yeah, pinball Warlock, yeah.
Maybe that should be Nebula's next song.
Well, I mean, maybe Nebula could do a whole album and pinball.
All about me. Yeah, I love it. That's a great Burke, you're a marketing genius.
So,
yep.
Serafina never walked away. She stayed there, looking over your shoulder.
Scooted over to give her a place to sit.
So, if you've uncovered, like she lowers her voice. She's not trying to draw in more eyes. If you have uncovered tech in both, I didn't really get to see much of what the Flumps did besides swing some nasty blades. Did both teams have access to magic?
Well, we know that the Displacer Beasts do, right? Like that's the team that was all casters.
Gibbering Mouthers are the
Right.
all casters. Displacer Beasts, you definitely
They're
saw
kind of mishmash.
that the Satyr had magic.
They're sneaky. They seem quick and sneaky. That was their shtick, I think.
They are definitely on the shadier side of things.
Fast.
And they are definitely pretty quick.
They were also the ones that wanted to give up trying to research this.
Mm-hmm.
Does Tabitha know that about Ez? I know he said he didn't want somebody to find out he killed them, but do I know that he was talking about me? I think I do, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. All right.
We broke the news to you.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like, by the way, they were talking about you.
Yeah.
I think for Burke, he would like to go and basically, because I need to long rest or I'm going to be useless. He would like to binge the season of when the Displacer Beast and Flumps were in everything and look for clues to see if somebody might have an agenda for some reason or if there was some sort of funny business or anything like that.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Let's see, I have a +1 to that. That's a 19 and a 4. I'll go with 19.
Right.
So +1, dirty 20.
All right. So which one are you doing first? Because they were not on the same season.
Let's start with the Displacer Beasts because that has Az on it, and they had something with Tabitha, and so that just feels like a little more close to home.
Sure. All right. So when the Displacer Beasts were on, they actually had done fairly well. Watching some of their competition, they seem to move through a lot of the challenges pretty easily. As Rosrab and Thastorn, the Goblin, the Spiderfolk, and the Dwarf all seem to move with a lot of grace. They're very dexterous. Kapath seemed to solve a lot of the problems with magic, and he used darkness and shadow to move through. So sometimes he would like step into the darkness and appear on the other side of a problem. Other times, like he would create like stairways or like little platforms to step on out of darkness and just step over things. Nothing seems to give you any kind of indication in the run that any of them did anything tech wise. They did not win their competition, but they placed third in their run. They did fairly well. And then for Team Flumps, give me another investigation with advantage.
Okay. 14 and 2. We'll go with 14 for a 15.
All right. So with this, you know that both the Tabaxi and the Dwarf were basically as agile as the Displacer Beast team. Dwarf, in several instances, was able to muscle through some of the areas. When a trap would hit, he would be able to take it without too much of a problem. And several times, much to the audience's enjoyment, the Earth Genasi would wind up like walking through traps and just having blades and poison things just snap and break upon his rock-like skin. But as you had seen within the battle royale earlier in the day, Corson, the half elf, was definitely a spellcaster.
Okay.
He not only had the ability to heal his allies, but he conjured things to aid. He put layers of magic upon his allies to aid them in what they were doing, whether it be in avoiding damage or in just straight up buffs. But he had some somewhat tricky moves himself. At one point in time, he actually called forth a second, a copy of himself.
Okay. So yeah, just binging the seasons, getting those clues, and resting, resting. That's important.
So I would imagine in order to do this in the timetables you have, you probably had gone to like a website that specifically is like, hey, you want to watch this group, and it just shows you all of their stuff rather than trying to watch all of the extraneous info.
Right.
Fast forward or cutscenes and
Dungeons and Delving's the clip channel.
Like ESPN Ocho edition with the commentary and stuff. It's right after.
Oh, gotcha. So that is with those checks, that is what you're able to ascertain.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So yeah, I'm resting in the room. I don't know what everybody else is doing.
I'm watching. I'm prepping for the meals. Like I'm getting stuff ready, the marinades, whatever I have. I'm waiting for my Roth steaks and red lichen to show up.
Yeah, they're brought to you within the hour.
That's pretty fast. Send it back. I want fresh roast. He's like, God damn it! What are you gonna do around here?
That takes another 90 minutes then.
Go full diva.
Okay.
And then once I've done everything that I can, I will go see what Tabitha's up to.
Well, I mean, how much time are we talking to fill?
Well, you've got a day and a half worth of time.
Oh.
We've only used about an hour or two.
Okay. Well, yeah, a lot of pinball playings. I'm into that. I'd probably want to see if Raziel would want to play 2-player head to head. They're clearly the superior swords person, but who knows? I am a pinball warlock after all. If Anlith is around, I would want to just speak with them briefly and just fangirl out and be like, oh, when you drew the shining sword for the first time during the battle royale, that was pretty amazing. And just kind of admire that. I don't know much about him, but it's like that's like the name of their sword, right?
Shining sword
that intrigues me.
is a named blade.
Yeah, capitalized.
Indeed, and even in my notes, wielder of the shining sword.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, oh, why is that capitalized?
So Annalise would certainly come over and have a conversation. Or actually, probably if you're going over to talk to Raziel, the three of them are kind of in conversation. Urzath.
I'm gonna get my talisman back too.
Raziel, Urzath, and Annalise are all kind of sitting at the table and just having a casual conversation.
Wow, really? The three of them? That's like, wait, who's the third person?
Urzath, the Dragonborn.
Oh, I don't know much about them. Okay.
Annalise, Zilthana, Urzath Brightscale, and Raziel Tarish. So the three of them are at the unicorn table, just having a general conversation about the events of the day, and that the tactics seem to kind of work out when they realized pretty quickly what was going on, and that some of these competitors were apparently so out for each other that just literally waiting back around, like they didn't need to deal with most of the competitors, and that when Seraphina suggested, like, hey, we've been fairly friendly with the Chimera, do we really have to fight? Let's go see how this works.
Yeah, well, I would, if I was around and heard that, I would segue in by just saying, like, I was frankly surprised by the directness of the flumps. Is that, well, I guess they'd never had a competition like this before, but yeah, that definitely took us by surprise.
So Annalise is like, well, when something new happens, that is where we tend to draw in we draw in what kind of character they are. They rushed in, they sought blood. They saw the competition as merely a battle line. Our team waited. We saw no need to decide what was going on. Everyone went into a room and we heard, let the battle royale begin. Nothing said we had to charge. Nothing said that we had to drop our opponents.
That's an excellent perspective.
No,
well, I'm glad with the way things turned out.
Well, we've gotten to we are not in first place. We at least have gotten to narrow the margins.
Mm-hmm.
We got to lay claim to a first place run. We are pleased with that.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I forget, they had been in previous years, right?
No.
The Shining Unicorns.
Nope.
Oh, this is their first time too?
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, this is all new to us too. We didn't even know each other before we showed up here.
There is some mutual acquaintance among our team. I'm very familiar with Urzath here, and the Raziel is friendly with Seraphina.
Oh yeah, you two know each other.
Indeed.
What do you, what do you get? What do you get? What do you all think about all this conspiracy theories everybody's talking about?
So the
Truth be
dragon.
told, I haven't really paid as close attention as my teammates.
So the Dragonborn, speaks up, and he's like, we really weren't certain what to think. Is this a ruse to kind of bring out drama,
I was thinking that too for a moment. You think so?
or is this something legitimate? Is there anything that you saw? We did not fight any of the displacer beasts beyond the one on the ceiling.
That's right.
Was there anything that you witnessed during the battle that seemed out of place?
Not particularly. We really did. We never even made it out of our dome. I'm gonna like lean in real close and be like, I'm not even convinced I'm not behind any of this stuff.
Why do you think you would be behind it? And like, there's a little bit of concern on Annalise.
Honestly, I don't remember anything of my life prior to. Actually, we never even really determined it. So we'll say a year and a half, 18 months ago.
So, do you think it's possible that you set something up prior?
It crossed my mind.
That
We had a lot of time in that time displaced zone where time didn't pass, where my mind was just wandering quite a bit while they were talking with that robot ghost or whatever it was.
No, that is quite an interesting thought to suspect yourself without the knowledge.
Can I wander in at this point?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, by all means.
Please.
So, what are you guys talking about?
My amnesia.
Oh, well,
oh, you would love this. It's right up your alley with your.
I look around and drop my voice low. You mean like you don't remember since the goblin murdered you?
Yeah.
So Annalise like perks up. What do you mean you were murdered?
Yeah, she's not. She's not alive, but she's not dead. How do you explain it, Tabitha?
I wasn't quite sure. Now I'm pretty sure there's no pulse now. There was like faint before, but yeah, I haven't felt one like since the competition ended.
Right. So Raziel kind of like interrupts this and says, "Your teammate here was just saying how they suspect themselves.
Yeah, I told you guys about that.
They don't remember what happened to them prior to 18 months ago."
I slapped Tabitha on the back really hard. No, Tabitha wouldn't do something like that. She just gets all weird and emo when she's trying to remember what happened before. I mean, I don't blame her. It is weird, but we did like.
It was just a speculation.
As confessed, or we heard as talking about killing someone here, and that they don't remember him, and he was acting really weird towards Tabitha. And he didn't want me to. He wanted to have a conversation with me, and he expected I wasn't going to tell Tabitha about it. Of course, I lied to his little punk ass. Totally told Tabitha everything, and then it turns out later, that Tabitha overheard him talking to one of his teammates about the fact that he killed someone here.
Well, that is definitely an issue to kind of be dealt with, but you don't feel troubled that you were forced to lie to someone in a spirited competition?
Me?
No, this is Annalise talking to Enzo.
Oh,
What? Me lying to him?
You just said that you lied to the goblin.
F that guy. He killed her.
Well, I mean that like I
Murder
said,
trumps lying every time.
yes, but both are wrong.
Well, he lost my confidence once he disclosed what he wanted me to be confident about. I'm not going to betray my friend.
Well, you did say this before you had found out what what had transpired or what you.
And I didn't tell
Did you-
Tabitha until we pieced everything together.
Okay, okay. Well, then
I mean,
is there
not
a
that I
prayer
probably
or
would have
something?
anyway, but like that guy's a little jerk for one. And two, now he's a murdering jerk. Well, maybe. I mean, we really don't know what Tabitha did, if she deserved it or not. But still, murder
I
is
mean,
murder.
who hasn't murdered somebody along the way, though?
I have never murdered anyone.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, me neither. I cook animals and stuff, but I'm not a
Hey,
butcher.
meat is murder to some people.
That's true, but I don't do the butchering.
So I'm actually trained in religion. Could I don't know, your world and all that, but I
Mhm.
would like to talk to Annalise and be like, would I know what they like? Is it evident what
If
they're?
you're trained in a religion, yeah, I have not fully explored, religions here.
Yeah, sure.
He definitely has like a symbol
A
of
deity
like a deity, on an amulet around his neck. It's
of
definitely
goodness.
something of the light of goodness, that kind of thing. And you would see a similar similar amulet on Urzath Bright Scale.
Oh, okay. I would say like maybe like sit back. There in the texts of blah blah blah. So this calls to mind like that prayer that Enzo might say as penance to cleanse the stain of that lie. Do you think that'd be appropriate?
That would indeed be something that we could do. That we could certainly guide you upon that path if that was something that you were willing to do here, Enzo.
Whoa! What are you looking at me for penance? You want to do penance? You can do penance. I don't feel bad at all. I will sleep like a baby tonight, and I don't even like that guy. He's a jerk.
Well, no one is going to force you down, but it cleanses the soul when you remove the impurities.
Don't you want a clean soul?
I do that through good eating. That's how you get to the soul, right through the belly. Everybody knows that.
Well, to
Hey, I wouldn't mind a good soul cleansing. I mean, I'd be more than happy to participate in any.
Or you could do like a good juicing plan for a couple of days. No solid foods, clean you right out. We can fix something right up.
soul juice.
so what are your thoughts upon this little mystery that has been thrust upon us beyond yourself there, Tabitha? Is it?
Oh, I don't know. That's Nebula's bag.
You're not concerned in any way?
No, I mean we're number one, and that's feeling pretty good. I mean nobody's been hurt, other than like this strange effect on the scores early on, which the controllers seem to fix. I mean, it really hasn't impacted the game too much, except for Skick, of course.
So,
But
as
that
you
was-
mentioned, we're in first place. Raziel kind of bumps your elbow with their elbow. It's like
barely.
by 6 points.
Fair enough.
We are on the rise, Chimera. We are the shining unicorn. We will shine and we will crest the top.
I hope to be there to see it with you.
Well, I just hope that none of us get knocked out due to the shenanigans that are going on.
True that.
I think you're trying to get a fist bump there, Enzo.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry, I got distracted by the super chat.
Oh!
For $5 from Tech and Motorcycles. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ooh.
You can also have a virtual fist bump.
We'll raise the roof for that.
Yeah, Tekken Motorcycles is just returned stateside.
Very nice.
Awesome.
I mean, low key, I am all about that banana pudding and pecan pie.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds good.
Just imagine them being together now for a minute.
Yeah, so like I said, it would be a shame for any of us to lose, not by any faults of our own, but because of some shenanigans.
So then,
or maybe there's a bigger plot in play here. Maybe it's bigger than the game. I just don't know.
Oh boy, imagine what the licensing rights for our story will be then.
Yeah, if we're all alive. I mean, someone did die.
There's factors.
Some deaths you can't come back from.
So what are your thoughts and worries beyond just the immediate? Do we feel like, do we set up some kind of injunction and say that until this is dealt with and resolved, like this is being recorded and done later, so it's not like it's a live streaming scenario. If we were to gather the group together and put our foot down, however you want to call it,
you could stage a sit-in.
Essentially, I mean, they say the show must go on. Well, what happens if it doesn't? What do they do?
What would they do? I don't know.
I mean, there's two teams that I bet, or at least one of them would not agree to it. I don't really know which one though.
Well,
what do you mean?
All of the information has been discussed.
Oh yeah, like everybody met with George individually too, right?
Yeah.
All the teams. Like a couple days ago or whatever.
Well, I think that was voluntary, right? We didn't have to talk to him.
Yes.
Oh.
Because we also talked to him as a group, so we don't know if anyone refused to talk to him either.
It's a mystery.
So the general information that has been kind of put out there, all 6 teams are aware. So the idea of an anomalous, program has revealed information that one of the teams that previously ran the dungeon is behind or partially behind the ongoings. That much has been spoken about openly amongst the group. So therefore,
wow, and nobody seemed like weirded out. Like, you mean spoken of openly amongst everybody?
Amongst all 24,
whoever it is inscrutable.
So
unless they don't know.
So that is what's out there. So Raziel would say, if we were to force this kind of direction, it could potentially push the team to act in some way outside the dungeon, or it could reveal some other kind of clue that might come to pass, or they all join in and we allow the orange shirts to figure things out while we put our feet up and relax. Just
what if only some people, like, whatever, protested it and they got disqualified for failing to participate?
What are they going to tell the audience?
Yeah, that's true.
This whole season going to get scrapped because a handful of teams decide they're not going to do the final run?
I don't know. Maybe they can just CGI it or something. They can MGI it.
I mean, technically that.
Have you seen magic generated images these days? They're insane.
They're
really good.
They can make
well,
hallucinatory terrain.
I am aware of what is possible with magic, but
I'm just,
once you begin going out, you're going to share the story. You're going to say what transpired,
maybe
unless
they
they
have people
force you
like
to sign a
Asgo
con-
kill you.
Well, I mean,
Maybe Tabitha went down that road already.
I like the mystique it adds to my reputation.
so there was some chat coming in from Burke. So
Oh,
magic is definitely known about. I mean, it's kind of like, do people know about computers these days?
yeah.
But you're not going to necessarily know all of the layers, just like the average person probably doesn't know all the different computer languages.
Yeah, not an electrician. I know electricity is, but I'm not an engineer.
So you could make an arcana check to know if that particular spell exists, and if you get it, you get it. But I mean, just by the information that you gathered while watching, yes, a trickery cleric should be suspicious. It's a trickery cleric there.
Mhm.
What's your guy the god of? Trickery? He seems like on the up and up.
So let's say in theory, I got a 12 plus 5 for Arcana,
Okay,
which
that'll be
puts it at a 17.
17. So what level spell is modify memory?
I don't know
Fifth,
offhand.
I think it's fifth. It's fairly powerful.
So all right. So if it's a fifth level spell, there is yes, you would have or could have heard of it in some way, shape, or form, or the concept
Okay.
of magic that modifies the brain exists with that kind of check.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. I've got that in my back pocket then, because I'm still not here. But because I don't know how long a long rest takes, and time is kind of timey-wimey
So
when we're doing speaky bits.
We'll let people do what they want, and then we'll come back to the morning, and then you guys will have that day to figure out whether you're putting your foot down, solving the mystery, or saying screw it, going into the dungeon with all 6 teams.
Okay. Hmm.
So I
So,
think we should call for a meeting the next day and see
Sure.
what we can do.
So is there anything else that anyone wanted to do specifically this night?
In the night?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
All right. What do you want to do?
I want to cast a dream.
Okay.
yeah.
Who are you
I
dreaming?
would like to visit Az's dreams.
Ooh.
Okay.
Haha.
And I actually I wrote some stuff up. I want to have him imagine that he is having a dream of fishing. He's sitting on a little overlook of a nice river. The sun's low, so it's like trying to cross the water. And his line catches something, and he pulls it up, and it's a chest. When he pulls it up, the small chest. It's white and silver, and it has an emblem on like the clasp that looks like Tabitha's sword.
Oh, okay.
And in his dream, he knows that inside of it is the secret that he knows about them. And you could tell me, would he leave it closed, or would he open it?
So seeing a chest, he pulls it open and then notices the symbol after.
Oh, after? Okay. So as he opens it, a specter of Tabitha emerges from it, led by her sword, which floats above the chest and points at him and says, to let the past die and kill it if you have to. And I'm going to make that.
Let the past die and then what?
Kill it if you have to. I'm just stealing from Star Wars. But since he opened it, he he's going to have to make a wisdom save. He could have had a peaceful night's sleep, but it will be a nightmarish one if he fails his save.
Oh, he definitely failed. That is a 3 on the die.
Okay, so let's see. And that was exactly 10 words, which I am allowed to do with the dream. And echoes of the phantasmal monstrosity spawn a nightmare that lasts for the rest of his sleep and prevents him from gaining any benefit. And when he wakes up, he'll take 3d6 psychic damage.
Oh, God. Nice. Well done, sir.
And that's all I wanted to do in the night. No, and that I literally don't have to sleep, so I'm just going to be playing that pinball. I'm gonna become the best pinball warlock of all time.
You could just keep sweet. You could just keep short resting and keep dreaming people.
I could. I'll keep that in mind.
Oh my God, that is evil.
Oh yeah, because I don't have to sleep.
Well, how many spell slots do you have?
It's a warlock.
2.
2. So I mean, you could do it twice. Short rest. Do it to 2 more people.
Yeah.
So that's like 7 short rests.
I'll visit Nebula's dreams again, and we can have another dance dream. But no nightmare. I just want to give her that dream of dancing off against digital Tabitha unwittingly. We're gonna roll off to see how we do in our dream.
Sure.
Ooh, 19.
24.
You did better than last time.
You've been practicing.
All right, that's it. Then the rest of the time.
Robert's like 24.
It's one of the skills that I have, prestige
sure.
or whatever you call it.
Expertise.
That one.
Even in your dreams.
Buzz off, peasant.
That's it.
So Tabitha busts out some sweet moves, but in Nebula's dream, she reigns supreme.
Yep. And in real life too. She's way better in that. No, maybe not the Seraphina, but
So the night passes, and everybody gathers for breakfast in the morning. You see Az come down, his eyes definitely sunken in. What little hair is definitely unkempt. Winds up like almost like limping down the stairs. Something is definitely off with this little goblin today.
good.
But everybody gathers.
I'll smirk if I see him. Yeah.
So the Dragonborn from Shining Unicorn kind of like offers greeting to everyone.
I will greet him in Celestial and say, I'm gonna have to double up on that penance prayer, Razeth.
There's a nod. So we come today. This is our last day before our last run. We have been comrades in arms against each other to fight off this dungeon, but none of us expected that one or some of our own potentially looking around, trying not to lock eyes with anyone in particular, seeming to more speak to the walls behind everyone. But we have seen some unfortunateness within the dungeons that were not supposed to be there. We can try to get to this resolution today and go forward a clean slate, whether that be 5 teams or 6 teams. That is for all of us to determine what is going to transpire. And with that, whichever of you had decided to kind of ask for the team meetings, Urzaf kind of nods in your direction and basically hands you the floor. So who steps up?
Oh, well. So we were discussing yesterday, perhaps we should boycott this last dungeon until this issue is resolved. Clearly, several of us have been encountered this programming, this being. We've discovered magical hijinks and technological hijinks along the way. Clearly, someone is meddling with the game, with the competition. So it's not a fair competition as it stands, and it would be a shame to lose not to a superior foe, but to a treacherous cheater.
It's a compelling
So,
point. Enzo.
The satyr, Kapath, stands up. Does not have quite the height that most of you do. This might have fallen on deaf ears earlier in the competition. But the fact that you, who are in first place, are urging not to go forward seems somewhat compelling.
Well, one of us has already died. I mean, they got resurrected, but some deaths you don't come back from. And what if one of them happens to someone? Is anyone interested in risking that?
That is certainly something that bears thought. So Crumb, the Goliath, who definitely seems to not have smiled once since Skick left the competition.
Yeah, they were close.
Our team has not done well. Our ally decided to leave with his life. And this, pointing towards or nodding towards Chef Bob, or Jorgen Flamefellow, as he has monikered himself for this, while is competent in some regards, has not fulfilled our team of what my friend could do.
Your friend was probably a better cook, too.
If you feel that aligning ourselves and forcing the game master to solve this or what have you, we can certainly get behind. And he looks to his three teammates, or he looks to the two teammates that he sees, Tristan and to Bress, and they all kind of nod. The gibbering mouthers, why
Boy,
not?
they don't have must not have much morale on that team, huh?
No, the morale has definitely been destroyed amongst the Black Razor's Revenge.
Yeah.
Not only did they fare incredibly poorly, but Crumb himself has, in the bits that you've watched, he definitely seemed to lose the heart.
Oh yeah, he was
competition.
I actually meant to comfort him a few episodes ago, but I forgot. Sorry, Crumb. I made a note to myself, and it just never.
I owe you hugs.
Yeah.
The gibbering mouthers, the little gnome Zedemeyer, begins talking before any of you realize that he stood up. Not all that much taller standing than he is sitting. We have been chasing you all from the beginning. If we can oust a team that is cheating, that is only going to remove one of the teams that are higher up than us. So I am, and again, he looks to the group with him, and they all give a nod. Memories, jerky automaton body, makes a massive motion, almost pulling themselves out of their chair. We will sit and not go on until all teams are in agreement.
What about the rest of you? I mean, it's one thing to risk one's life for their god or their country, but for a game.
Well, Serafina doesn't even stand. My teammates say that this was suggested by one of ours, so we are certainly willing to stand or sit and wait until this situation is resolved, and if we have to push through with only 5 teams because someone has been ousted from the competition for cheating, then that's to them.
Here's a thought. And I turn to Raziel.
Mm-hmm.
You're a very honorable person, at least from what I can tell.
Totally.
Does your magic enable that at all? Like, is it powered by it somehow? Is there a way that you could maybe, like, I don't know, like, so my granny, when I would do something wrong, she would sometimes do this thing where she'd wave her fingers around and then it'd be like this, circle, and you'd have to stand in it and tell her what you did. And it was really hard to not say what you did.
Wow, my friend. Of my team, I am the least likely to do any kind of magic.
I don't know. You're pretty magic with that blade.
They give a they give a nod towards you, Tabitha. My
swordsman to swordsman.
My teammates here, actually, potentially any of the others might have a chance of doing that, but not I. I deal with this, and they pull out the.
Are they just a fighter?
They're just.
I figured, but
Yeah.
Burke doesn't know that. Burke is like, this person's honorable. I bet the magic is so honorable.
They're also an Azamar.
What level fighter are they?
You observing them? Is that what you're trying to figure out?
I mean, I've observed them.
Yeah,
probably throughout. So
you guys are all 10th level, right?
Yes.
So Raziel is 9th.
Oh wow.
Okay.
But they're
I would actually be able to pick out all the fighters and what anyone who has fighter levels.
Oh really? Is that how that works? Is just for other fighters?
Well, for that specific thing, and then there's a bunch of other things you can tell if they're better or worse than you.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is like the ultimate ability for a competition like this where you literally have lots of time to spend with all these other people. It's not nearly as useful in most games as it is for a game like this.
I could totally have seen Enzo and Burke watching the tape when he was binging it, watching tape.
Yeah.
Like, hey, see what he did right there?
Yep, definitely.
This guy's 9th level. Totally 9th level move right there.
From the Flumps, the Earth Genasi Hashad is a fighter of equal level. Rockin, the dwarf, is a fighter of a lower level. There are no fighters on the Gibbering Mouthers.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Bress
Lurga is a fighter of a lower level.
So for fighters, you actually just know their level. It's specific to that. There's other things. Like if I was looking at their class, like their character level,
just goes to stat blocks, Ted.
It would be up and down, and then it's like specifics on the stat block. But I'm not that worried about it anyway, because the battle royal already happened.
Yeah.
So
you had everybody's number.
Yeah. So you've got the idea that other than a handful of them, fighter wise, you are equal to or superior to everyone in the competition.
Just
And
do
then
that.
when it comes to cooking, it's not even a question.
That's not even my specialty, man.
Yeah.
You thought I was left-handed.
Yeah.
So does nobody do that finger wiggly bit with the circle?
So
Finger wiggly? Oh, yeah.
He's asking if anybody can cast Zone of Truth, but he doesn't know what that is.
So Annalith, I'm gonna give him.
Paladin
So
power.
you're asking for magic that forces one to only be able to speak that which is correct.
Right. And then all of us stand in the circle one at a time and say the same phrase that we didn't have anything to do with the sabotage.
Except for investigating it.
We
We didn't have anything to
cause
do
it.
with causing the
Yeah,
sabotage.
that one. See, I'm not a thinker. You're the thinker. That's why.
So Annalith looks around the room, brings a table to the very center. Says this spell lasts for 10 minutes. Easily enough time for me to ask each of you a single simple question, which obviously we're looking for undisputable yes or no. Correct?
Yes.
Exactly.
So Annalith never seems to leave his room not looking his best, not wearing his armor, not having the sword at his side. So as like every other time, he looks immaculate. His blade is at the side, and he draws forth this glowing long sword and carves just in the air this sigil. And you watch as it falls. There's this glowing light as it rests upon the table, and the area seems to spread out, and the magic begins to fall over all of you.
Did anybody kind of slip away unnoticed?
Everyone is still there.
Oh, okay.
No one seems to be trying to slink away or what have you. So what is the exact question you were asking me to ask?
I'm trying to get this phrase right, but Burke is not a thinker, and I am not in the headspace.
Well,
like I'm the perfect headspace for role playing that. So he would probably suggest, did you have anything to do with sabotaging this competition?
Directly or
And
indirectly.
then yes or no. Yeah, directly or indirectly.
Are we asking individually or are we asking team?
I would assume individually.
If you had anything to do with it, then if you knew your team was involved.
Yeah.
That would be indirect.
Right.
Yeah.
Guess, right?
Yeah, that would cover it.
Zone of Truth conga line?
So
No.
one by one.
No.
He brings his teammates up first. And Seraphina, Urzath, Raziel all say no. Seraphina asks the question to Annalith, and he says no. The four of them step off. Black Razor's Revenge. They step up, and one by one, no, 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 no. Jorgen kind of while he says no, is like looking directly at you, Enzo.
Do you think your cleaning's better than mine?
Yes.
He's lying. He's lying.
So the gibbering mouthers step up. And one by one, they all say no. Annalise still, not holding the sword out threatening, but the light of the spell seems to, or the light of the sword seems to, come over to you guys. And he calls forth, are you choosing to fail the saving throw, or do you wish to actually roll?
Burke is failing.
Failing.
He doesn't care.
So when they ask each of you, Enzo,
No.
Tabitha,
No.
Burke,
No.
Nebula,
No.
he sends you guys on.
Man, for a second there, I thought you were gonna get us that it was like one of us and the
I
rest.
know,
of them.
right? I was
You
like
know?
waiting on Enzo to be behind it all.
Or Nebula, or Bert, or anybody.
Or like waiting on one of us to say yes, and they're like, you lied, go away.
The Displacer Beast step up. And you can definitely see as being a little sketchy. He does not like approaching this guy. Almost is kind of like glaring back and forth between Tabitha and Annalise. But when the question is asked, the entire team of Displacer Beasts say no.
Wow. Even Zosrab, huh?
Even Zosrab.
I was suspicious just because they seem very clever and.
Well, so then the flumps come forward. Hashad and Rakan say no, and Annalise gives them the nod.
Are those saving throw rolls?
Kyoko steps forward and says no. You see Annalise's eyebrows kind of crouch down a little bit. Corson says no. And Annalise says, you're lying.
Oh.
Can I insight? Someone else should probably. Can I insight the one before him?
Corson or Kyoko?
Kyoko.
Okay, sure.
Because there was an exchange between the two of them.
There was a lowering of the eyebrows.
Yeah.
So basically, it was like concern.
That is a 16 because I
like maybe he
rolled a 16.
succeeded.
So, how familiar are you with this particular spell?
Oh, I wouldn't be familiar at all. I don't know spell work. I mean, other than being, a higher level character.
Sure.
That was just over the last week or so here, though.
So Nebula, you are intelligent. You are a bard, and this is a spell that is on your list. Would you like to make an Arcana check?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a very eager yes.
That was almost a yes.
I know, right? I think the only time I've seen them be more eager is when there's tech involved.
Dirty 20.
All right. So you know that if a person lies, they know. And if a person passes their saving throw, allowing them to lie, the person that the caster knows.
So I'll ask if that's what happened with Kyoko.
So having standing in the circle, Kyoko looks to standing in the circle. Annalise, still not looking at it. Both Kyoko and Corson have lied. Kyoko just straight up didn't tell the truth. And Corson resisted my magic. Corson steps forward and says, and we're to just believe this one. We've got all of this figured out because this person is able to say who is accurate and who is not. How can we not know that the little devious satyr over there is not the one who's dealing with all of this?
Why would she lie? Oh, why would he lie? Sorry, I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been.
No worries.
There's a lot of NPCs to track.
Yeah.
There is.
I was actually like, who are you talking
There's
about? Like,
only
who's she?
20 other characters that you guys should all know names, races, and classes and genders. Come on.
We're
Right?
getting
Like,
there.
this is a murder mystery. Come on, guys.
Look,
There's like
by
a
the
dozen
end of next
suspects.
episode, we'll probably totally remember him all, Ted.
What is to gain? Placing blame on someone else.
Why didn't you have a problem with answering until after they called you out?
Because it wasn't us.
Does it look like they lied again? They're still in the circle.
Yeah, it's like bing, bing, bing. He's lying. He's lying again. That's a lie. Everything he's saying is a lie.
So when he says that, still being within 15 feet of Annalise, Annalise looks to you and says, he's lying again.
I'm not surprised. I just want to like step back and look at everybody else and kind of see how everybody else is going to react.
I mean, the program said it's someone who's been in the competition before.
So a remote program that we have no idea where it came from has pointed a finger at someone in this room. And we're just supposed to believe that? Up until
Have it of evidence that you could have.
Up until this past run, my team has been in the lead. And now that we have fallen out of first place, now we're suspect. Now we're the ones who all of a sudden we're the bad guys.
No, in all fairness, you were a suspect way before that. Pull out my corkboard, pointing to the people in the run before.
You really
Also,
can't
with some really
make
crazy
that
theories.
Back
But
in like episode 2.
So Kyoko was the one that had like that plastic front that was like, no, she didn't have like all of this tech experience, but she actually did. I'm gonna pull that out.
we need a bill. Can we get a bill up in here? We need a bill.
Not to mention, we were recorded chilling out, but we wouldn't have a reason to do that unless somebody tricked us into doing it. And I know enough about magic to be aware there are spells that can adjust your memory, and none of us remember doing that.
So why don't somebody make an insight check?
I have a
Sure.
+2 to that. Who can
I have
beat it?
plus
I am
3.
Insightful. But you know what? Hey, I was imagining she went and got popcorn while else was going on, so maybe she's watching.
Okay. That is You know what? We have inspiration because I rolled a 10, but
yeah.
I care about this roll.
Me too.
So I'm going to use my inspiration.
My popcorn insight.
And I'm glad I did. That is 18 total.
I got
Would have been
21.
13 otherwise. That was 5 better.
21. So when Nebula pulls out this information about Kyoko, there is just like the briefest glance between Kyoko to Corson.
I'm just gonna be sitting there eating my popcorn when
And-
everybody's talking. Like, there's knowing glance.
And Corson, without missing a beat, says, "You've been on that thing this entire time. Who is to say that you didn't draft this all up yourself?"
Ooh, I say and look over at Nebula.
Nebula, did you draft all this by yourself? Still in the truth.
Okay, so first of all, no. Second of all, I'm still under the zone of truth, and you know I didn't pass. You know that this is affecting me. Can I get a confirmation?
And Annalise just nods his head. And it was about that time that an orange shirt that you have not seen before steps in.
Is it George's boss?
Oh
Is it
my
one of the
god,
bills?
that would be crazy.
Please don't be Afro Bill.
It's not Afro Bill.
What?
The one female Bill.
This is orange shirt Brenda.
Brenda?
Brenda.
Oh man, she's ballbuster, I'm sure.
Well,
That sounds
she just kind of points around to the handful of cameras pointing into the locker room. Seems you've all been quite the busy bees today.
I prefer beavers. They're nicer.
I'm quite fond of beavers as well.
Depends on the kind of bee, as long as they're not wasps.
Beavers block waterways and bees make honey. How is blocking waterways any better than honey?
Wasps don't make honey, and wasps attack you because wasps are a-holes.
No one's talking about wasps.
Okay, then
We're-
bees is fine.
See how quickly things escalate, Brenda?
Annalise, as a paladin of light, is the information that has been recorded here as Brenda's kind of glare comes down over the flumps.
Can I have an aside?
Sure.
Nerdarchist Davis, I think it's your first aside.
It is my
Yes.
first aside. So now listen,
Tell us the
folks.
story, Dave.
I'm a chef by trade. I'm pretty handy with my blades. Not a legal expert, but I'm not sure a zone of truth is admissible in a court of law. But I digress. Let's find out.
That was good.
Actually, they do use zones of truth in the courts of law. It's kind of the way to stop people from lying.
Well, in the real world, they don't. So,
Don't have a zone of truth.
You don't
in
have
the
them in
real
the real
world.
world.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
Dave,
we do have polygraphs, though. They do not
Those
use
are
them.
pseudo. Okay, we're not talking about this right now. Continuing.
they would have
Brenda,
already been
you have the floor.
charged at
No.
that point.
So Brenda, looks to Annalise. He gives the very nod. Holds the holy symbol and sheathes the shining sword. And without missing a beat, Brenda looks to Corson like, just tell us how. And the half elf looks to Kyoko, looks to Rakin, looks to Hashad.
Poor Shad, he truthfully said no, right?
Hashad and Rakin truthfully said no.
And Racken? Okay. Nice.
Your back door is not as secure as it should be. Kyoko found your controllers. After that, simple intimidation, bribery, and the competition was going to be ours.
Damn it, Bill!
Bill.
Well, we'll have to figure out what to do here. And I think it's probably safest if we go ahead without the four of you armed. And, she hops on her phone and begins, calling forth. We'll need to figure out how we're going to do the final run with only 5 teams. This is going to be quite the story. I think we'll have to...
Are the whole team getting eliminated?
Well,
Those two didn't even do anything.
do we...
Tell you what you should do. Here's a ratings thing for you. Get rid of Corson and Kyoko. Take Hashad and Corson, or Hashad and Rakin. Have them play with the Black Razors and get rid of that Jorgen guy. Nobody likes him anyway. His teammates don't even. What do you say, Brenda? That's my pitch. It's the finale.
How many teams are there?
6.
6.
There's 6.
Now there would be 5.
And
Go
so
ahead.
there's 24 minus 2, so that's 22.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, I don't know if we math it
Black
out
Razors
right.
are behind. If everybody else agreed, they'd have an extra teammate, but I'm okay with it.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh,
Okay, I'm clasping my talisman as well.
Can I use the assist action by quietly giving the evidence that Chef Bob over there broke his NDA to Brenda?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Oh!
Plus 4. 24.
We are ruining Ted's
And if
game
the
here.
DC happened to
How
be
is this ruining
25,
the game?
and if the DC happens to be 25, I wouldn't be able to fail because I got my talisman.
Okay. Well, I did not get
Sure.
anywhere near close to a 24 on her roll.
Oh my gosh.
So she stammers through and all right,
Think of the ratings.
we'll take these 2. And you, Mr. quote unquote flame fellow. 3 of you are coming with me. And Chef Bob is where is this coming from? And
you burned one too many bridges, Chef.
when
Along with all your toast.
Boom.
What was it that he
Got
was
my
always
layup.
calling Enzo? Chef second place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Side
Somebody called
dish.
it side dish, Bob, in the chat. I thought
Yeah. Well, Chef not in the competition anymore.
that was-
So you wind up, having not seen this before, but a handful of orange shirts that are kitted up, armor and weapons and all.
Oh,
of
wow.
that.
Right gear.
Oh, like the guard, security.
Yes, but security for a fantasy setting, so
Yeah,
town
yeah.
guard style, and they wind up taking the weapons of the 3 that are being taken away, and they're escorted off the premises. Brenda gives the group that's left of Black Razor's revenge and the flumps what to do here. And God, why can't I remember this guy's name?
So we're all left there.
Crumb says, I'm in order to keep things balanced, if we're gonna take these two in, I'll sit out to make it fair.
You sure, Crum?
My heart hasn't been in it. I'd rather relax. That'll make it nice and easy for one run. And this way, none of you were thinking that our team that's in last place has got any kind of unfair advantage with 5.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean, considering y'all have never practiced together before, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest, but,
Yeah. It is what it is.
And now you've got like these matching uniforms with no uniforms. It's going to clash anyway. The extra person probably not a big deal. Maybe you should wait and have my Roth steak tonight. And then after that settles in your belly, then you should think about it and make a decision.
Did you say a deep Roth steak?
Yeah.
Nice.
He didn't say he was going to leave. He just said he was going to stay out of the competition. So there was some choice words, whether it was done on purpose or just mere coincidence. He's kind of gonna take the day as a vacation. So
try out that pinball machine.
We will leave off here as you all enjoy your last day. A handful of people down from the competition as we get ready to enter the dungeon for a final time on session 12 of Dungeons and Delving. Tune back in next week to see how things all unfold and see what winds up transpiring in the dungeon. Mystery solved. The players came up with some good ways to get a hold of things, and Enzo got to get rid of the competition thanks to some creative work from Nebula.
And no one has to suffer through that burnt toast anymore.
So, as always, links are going to be down in the description to find these people wherever they might be when they're not here. Don't forget to tune back in for all of the weekday chats with, Dave and whoever the amazing guests are. And we'll put out that, we will not be having a live chat this Friday as, Dave has got some otherwise engagements going on. Like I said, tune back in next week for the finale of Dungeons and Delving.
Woo!
So until next time, stay with me.
Nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.